So imagine you're a single mom of two who has just completed a 12-hour shift, and not just a 12-hour shift, 12 hours shift in a hospital where the alarm bells wouldn't stop ringing. Every patient seems to need your attention at the same time, and your decisions are, shall I say, tied to life and death. Now, after pressure, when you walk through your front door, the one thing you want is to be able to relax, recharge, and then return tomorrow to deliver. But you walk through that front door and you're met with your once lovely 16 years old boy who recently is beginning to display some attitudes that are a bit confusing. So you try to set boundaries and he just rolls his eyes, gives attitude. He's being a bit rude. And you stand there wondering, what has changed? What has happened to your boy? Are you doing something wrong? Are you being too free in the way you handle him? Are you being too strict? Are you missing something? And that's just the question you're wondering about. Well, let me just quickly say that what's happening to you is not as strange as you think it is, because a lot of parents do not adapt their method of parenting as their children grow. And so when you hear people refer to their teenagers as my baby boy, it's not just a way of expressing affection. Sometimes it's actually that's how they still see their teenagers. They still see them as baby boys, and that's fine. But your method of parenting has to adapt to the changes that are happening. Why does this matter? Now, the teenage age is that age where your young person is beginning to ask a very dangerous question. Sometimes they ask that question even without knowing they're asking the question, or even without speaking or saying anything. And that question is, how far can I push these boundaries without getting into trouble? And that's why you see them doing things that you would just watch and wonder what's happening here. So you see them daring and taking risks among their mates just to have a laugh. The simple thing happening is that pushing of boundary is growth, is them growing, gaining more freedom, gaining more independence. But it becomes a bit challenging because that aspect or that part of their brain that brings in the judgment, that puts the safety bounds in place, is not fully developed yet. So you have a situation where they can easily veer into the path of danger. But on the other hand, you do not want to stop them from experiencing that growth. So what you have to do, and why this conversation is important, is you need to find a way of allowing them to push the boundaries, of to grow in that space, but in a safe way.